So Dodge thought we trade in our Hemis for fake engine sounds and a silent EV charger? Yeah, that didn't go so well. Sales are down, fans are mad, and now rumor has it, the V8 might be making a comeback. Let's talk about what went wrong, what Dodge is finally realizing, and why the heart of the muscle car just might be beaten again. Find out more in this video. Let's get to it. So, unless you guys have been living under a rock, you already know is bringing back the Hemi. Dodge is potentially bringing back the V8 Hemi after their initial flop with this EV type of vehicle. And I wrote down a couple of key points and a couple of key terms here. So I'm gonna kind of go into these here a little bit, and we are going to talk about these things here, and I would like to know you guys' thoughts on some of these matters here. So as you all know, is that the EV was not a very great looking car. In my opinion, that thing looked ugly as hell. The only thing about the EV that I actually really liked it was the interior of the vehicle. You know, I do agree that, you know, like a lot of Mopar fans sit there and said is that the interior was very outdated. The car was very outdated. It's been going on for years and years, looking pretty much the same, with just, you know, headlights that change and, you know, a little bit of the interior that changed. You know, it wasn't really much of anything that really had changed over the years, so it was well overdue for an upgrade. And we finally got that upgrade, and Dodge teamed up with a company called Stellantis, and they came out with this hatchback type of Dodge Charger that they brought out. I wasn't a fan of the spoiler on the front of the car. That shit looks so ugly to me. It's not something that I liked it. They really try to push this vehicle out here with, you know, the 0 to 60 time, and, you know, the high amount of horsepower, and I really didn't care for any of that. It came down to me not really liking the vehicle. I would have even tolerated, you know, like the 1970 Dodge Charger look, or, you know, one of the older ones with just some modern touches. There's a couple of so my one thing that I really want to talk about is, you know, the some core topics. The fall of the EV charger, right? So I think all of us pretty much know that it was mostly, you know, due to the lack of the engine sound. As you know, that was a speaker. They, you know, Dodge, I think they try to sit there and say that it wasn't a speaker that was naturally aspirated from it, but it didn't matter what you said it was. It just didn't sound good, you know. It wasn't a very it wasn't a very aggressive sounding, you know, vehicle. It was very out of touch with the muscle car identity. If you turn around and you look at it, we just didn't like it. I hated it. I hated the way that it looked. Like I said, the only thing I liked about it was the interior. You know, it was more of a hatchback than it was a, you know, of a coupe, and it just didn't feel nor look like a muscle car to most of the fans. And then the other thing too was the price on those things. Now the prices on those Dodge Charger EVs were just insanely high. It was ridiculous. You can clearly buy an RT Scat Pack. You can clearly buy the Hellcats, and they were a lot cheaper. And I kind of felt that way too. I don't know if some of you guys ever seen like the little commercials or the little videos where they talk about, get your Hellcat while you can, get your V8 while you can, type of stuff. And I was just like, man, that is not something that bodes really well with the company. I have never, if you have someone who sits there and says something like that, they pretty much know that initial mark vehicle wasn't going to do well. Most of the fans didn't like it. I turned around and scrolled through Instagram and Facebook and everything, and seen thousands of people who talk about it. No one ever had anything really remotely positive to say about the car. Just few nicks and crannies here, but no one was sitting there saying that I can't wait for this car to come out. I can't wait to give my money to Dodge. I just couldn't do it.
I just can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power.
Is a big bodied vehicle. I know a lot of people complain about, oh, it's so heavy, it's so big, and that was the point of it. That was the point of it. The burnouts, we loved it, the drag strips, the unshakable idle from the vehicle, all of that stuff was just absolutely amazing. And it just felt like when they made this one, all of that was gone. There was no more burnouts, there's no more drag strips, there's no more rumbling at the rumbling when it's in that idle. It was none of that. All of that stuff was completely removed and was completely gone from this particular vehicle. So it wasn't something that most Mopar people and mostly Dodge fans really like. So now I'm wrapping this video up a little bit. I know that I don't want it to get too long into it. The speculations, of the return of the Hemi, and we're not talking about that six-pack engine thing that they're talking about. They were talking about adding a six-pack V8, a V6 engine or something like that. But they're really talking about like really going all the way back and like really going back to their original roots. Now, if they was to do something like this here, I really would love it if they would turn around and maybe go back into like the older body style. Like I sit there and said, the 1971 was definitely one of my favorite ones. It's really not that difficult to make something newer like that there. I would make it my mission to buy one of those vehicles. Just that old style body alone is just absolutely gorgeous to me. I think that it was a spectacular looking machine back in the day. I think that if you was to twist it and just add a little bit more moderation to it, make it look a little bit more modern, I just have to tell you, man, I think that thing would be an absolute sale point, especially with the V8 engine installed into it, but especially if they bringing back the Hemi engine. And I really think that they will be bringing back the Hemi engine. There's been articles and rumors about them talking about doing that, and we're not even talking about the Stellantis one. But a lot of people are telling you don't buy, the Stellantis one, and I tell you just, no. I say no. I wouldn't buy one of those things either. They're just horrible. They don't look very good to me. They're not very attractive. And Dodge just throwing an engine into this one here, especially like a V6 engine, and then thinking that this here is something that, oh, people will love this here. No, it's not something that we're going to love. But I want to know your thoughts and your opinions down below. Tell me what you think. Do you think that this here is going to be a good selling point for Dodge? Do you think that they're going to really bring back the Hemi? Do you really think that they're going to actually go back to their roots and actually focus a lot more upon the car aspect of this vehicle? Or do you think that this is just something that they're probably going to come back out and they're probably going to flop again and make something that's disappointing? I would like to know your thoughts below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care.